when the leader's greed for power obscures basic human principles and the regard for life? The Saba Saba protests paint a much more clearer answer for that question. Join us on today's conundrum in the course of this bulletin as we take a look at the unfortunate Saba Saba protests and the government's response. First, let us take a look at the day's news. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. It was a somber atmosphere in Muranga as family and friends today Friday attended the burial of Boniface Kariuki, the mask vendor shot by police during the June 17th protests in Nairobi. Family and friends remembered Kariuki as a hard-working and kind-hearted young man tragically killed while going about his daily work. Kariuki's mother could not bear the grief and fainted as her tribute to her son was being read out loud. Kariuki was shot at close range by a police officer during the June 17th protests in Nairobi and rushed to Kenyatta National Hospital, sparking national outrage over the shooting incident, which was caught on camera. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, along with other leaders, attended the burial ceremony and joined the calls castigating the government for Kariuki's untimely death. Moving on, Kenya's Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, is now fully reconstituted after the new chairperson, Erastus Edang Ethekon, and 6 commissioners were sworn in today by Chief Justice Martha Koome at the Supreme Court in Nairobi. This marks a major step in restoring the Commission's full operations, which had stalled since the 2022 general election. The team is now tasked with preparing for upcoming by-elections and laying the groundwork for the 2027 polls. During its first plenary meeting held shortly after the swearing-in, Commissioner Fahima Abdallah was elected as vice chairperson. The appointments follow a High Court ruling that dismissed a petition challenging their selection, paving the way for the team to officially begin work.
I, Erastus Edung Ethekon, having been appointed the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission,
I will at all times obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution of Kenya and all other laws.
And therefore wish to assure Kenyans that their voices will not only be heard, but they will also count during this, the coming elections. As we look ahead, I urge you to stand firm in your commitment to democratic values. Together, we must build a stronger, more resilient nation, one election at a time.
May the first prefix of your name, independent, always sound a clear tone all the time, especially if there will be a time when anybody or any institution will attempt to interfere with your decision-making independence.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has called on the newly sworn-in IEBC commissioners to begin immediate preparations for upcoming by-elections and the 2027 general election. Speaking in Kipkk, Charangani during a women's economic empowerment event, Kindiki welcomed the court's dismissal of a case challenging the commissioner's appointment, saying the country now has a fully functional electoral agency. The deputy president also took a swipe at the opposition one-term calls, challenging them to prepare for the elections instead of what he termed pointless rhetoric. Now, Pan-Africa Christian University has today held its 44th graduation ceremony at its Roysambu campus in Nairobi. The event, held under the theme Transformed to Serve, brought together graduates, families, faculty and dignitaries in a colorful celebration of academic achievement and purpose-driven education. Speaking during the graduation, Siton presiding Bishop Callisto Odede encouraged the graduates to go beyond the academic qualifications and become agents of change in their communities. He further urged them to seek to have their job descriptions inspired by God. Court of Appeal President Justice Daniel Musinga, who was the chief guest at the event, urged the graduates to serve with integrity and shun mediocrity.
Strive to be the best you can. Refuse mediocrity because you deserve the best. It is President Henry Ford who said that mediocrity is the worst enemy of prosperity. As we celebrate our graduates' achievement today, we must also look to the future with open eyes and hopeful hearts.
Regardless of what the marketplace out there is saying, you are going out as an agent of transformation geared to make an impact and a difference for God. Do not let the world and the marketplace define who you are and what you do. You have a job description from God. Discover it and live it. You cannot therefore sit and watch the crumbling around you or wait to be a mere meme among many crying, Serikali Saidia. You have been equipped to innovate and transform the world, starting with the very community around you. In this fast-paced world, it can be easy to lose sight of why we pursue education in the first place. Education is not just about good grades, the diplomas, or the accolades. It is, at its core, about service to humanity. It is about understanding the needs of others and stepping up to meet those needs.
Strive to be the best
Blogger
you can.
and businessman
Refuse
Godfrey
mediocrity.
Mwasiaga Kakan Mayo has been freed on a 10,000 shillings police bond pending possible prosecution. Mayo, who was arrested on Wednesday and booked at Muthaiga police station, was picked up by detectives at his office after a viral video posted on his TikTok account allegedly called for attacks against law enforcement personnel. According to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, Mayo was behind the viral video inciting violence against police officers and their families. His lawyer, Philip Mayo, is pushing for the charges to be dropped, citing constitutional violations and lack of evidence. Authorities said his arrest is part of a wider crackdown on individuals accused of spreading hate and inciting unrest amidst recent anti-government protests. On that note, let's take a short break on Newswatch tonight. We have more coming up. Stay with us.
See how far you've brought.
Join Vanisi Uwase.
I'm so glad you found me worthy.
This Sunday for a moment of worship on Ultimate Worship.
Every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare your glory.
from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and repeat from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Hope TV. Look and live.
Nashangilia Mwokozi wangu Yesu aliyenipenda.
One thing I've learned about leadership, just generally leadership, the leader is not the smartest person in the room. All right, he's not always the smartest person. When you're a leader, your strength is in the ability to be able to harness the gifts around you. It's the same thing in the family. All right, like I said, your wife is a very smart person, so you don't shut her down. All right, but you allow her to, you pick those ideas, you discuss them, and one of you make them your own.
Definitely.
It's like even in any organization, as the CEO, for example, you're not necessarily the smartest person in that organization, but you get around yourself people who are smart, people who are good in what they do, and then you take all those ideas and then you lead. And guess who takes credit at the end of the day? You take the credit at the end of the day. Because you're the leader.
You're the leader.
Isn't it? You know. So that's what leadership is all about. So being able to also just harness all those gifts that God has given you through your wife and one of you, but being able to chart the way forward.
Men on Record, every Friday at 7 p.m.
Welcome back. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has strongly criticized the government's shoot-to-maim orders targeting suspects involved in recent protests. In a statement issued today, Friday, the ODM leader said such actions violate the right to a fair trial and undermine the rule of law. He urged the Ruto administration to prioritize lawful arrests and court proceedings over what he termed as illegitimate and deadly powers being given to the police. Raila warned that a militarized approach to policing risks escalating violence and eroding public trust in state institutions. He emphasized that every suspect is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. The political succession race for the Bungoma gubernatorial seat is gaining momentum, with Westlands Member of Parliament Tim Wanyonyi officially declaring his interest in the 2027 contest. Speaking after a closed-door meeting with members of Parliament and members of the County Assembly from Bungoma County, Wanyonyi said he has gained enough experience after serving 3 terms in Nairobi and now feels ready to take up the leadership mantle in his home county. Wanyonyi added that although he is an ODM member, his current move is not about party politics, emphasizing that he is working with leaders and residents across the political divide.
Mimi nimekuja kama timu Wanyonyi. Please don't profile me. Msianze kuniweka kwa other packages that are not there. Sawa sawa? Yes. I belong to ODM, but I am not saying I'm ODM. I've come here as a candidate seeking to run for the governor of Bungoma. Hii engine tutadefine baadaye. Si ndio? Yes. We shall define. We might end up all together. Yes. And that is what I'm praying for. I want also to say that Bungoma is a very strategic county. The 3rd largest in Kenya. The potential in this county is huge, and we need to tap it. We need to look at how we can carry along our young people. Yes. All the interest in Bungoma. I know there are many communities that are operating from here. We have business groups, we have religious groups, we have our other communities that are also working together. Na nikiingia pia mashinane, tutapata watu wengine ambao watanisupport. Si ndio? Yes. Na tutatembea pamoja, and I'm sure hii safari tutaimaliza vizuri. Kwa hivyo sasa saa hii mimi nitakuwa here more in Bungoma than I'll be Nairobi.
Thank you.
Because I want now to find my footing here.
Kisii woman representative Doris Donya has launched a bold empowerment drive aimed at supporting widows, single mothers and caregivers of children with disabilities across the region. The initiative, funded through the National Government Affirmative Action Fund (GAF), offers both economic support and psychosocial services to help restore dignity and self-reliance among vulnerable women. Over 150 widows received dairy, goats and checks to boost sustainable livelihoods. The program is also challenging long-held cultural norms that marginalize widows. Speaking at Birongo Ward, Donya stressed the need for inclusive growth. In addition, she donated a water tank to a school in each constituency to improve access to clean water.
Birongo Ward, na tumekuja na mbuzi kwa sababu widows wanajua kufanya farming. Tumekuja na hasa avocado, they are the most productive because zinatoa matunda mingi sana. Pia tumekuja kuempower girl child. We came to a school that is Taracha Primary and Taracha High School. Tumeongea na watoto, we have to empower them kwa sababu kama hakuna mtu anaongea na watoto wetu, we have no society. Mnaona siku hizi vile watoto wetu wako wanalewa sana, wengi wako na mimba kwa sababu hakuna yule mtu anawaelekeza. So kama mama county tumejaribu kuongea, county ni kubwa, sitaki nilie kila siku pesa ya mama county ni kidogo kwa sababu kuna watu wale hawafanyi kazi. Kama hapa leo tumepea wamama chama, mtu anakuja anauliza hivi, mama county anawapea pesa, huwezi pea kila mtu. Pesa ya woman rep ni kidogo sana, hata ni kujaribu tunajaribu. So leo imekuwa siku mzuri ya empowerment, wamama wamefurahia mpaka tumeongea na wazee on GBV kwa sababu siku hizi mama na baba wanapigana kwa nyumba na hiyo inaleta aibu kwa watoto wetu. Lazima mimi kama mama county tutembee the whole county na hii si kwanza saa hii. I started immediately, I was elected as a woman rep, kuzunguka kwa counties. Sasa kwa constituencies, nilimaliza constituencies. Sasa nimeanza kuzunguka ward by ward. Asanteni. Tank moja ni 100,000. So that is around 1.5 million. Tumenunua hasa avocado, over 3,000 tunapea wakulima hapa.
Tension is rising in Obunga slums Mbita area due to the lack of a crucial bridge linking the neighborhood to Riat. The situation has turned deadly with 3 people confirmed dead after falling into the river where the bridge is supposed to be. Several others have sustained injuries, particularly during flooding. Frustrated residents have accused their area MCA Sami Onyango of neglecting the issue. They claim construction on the bridge was started by Onyango's predecessor but has since stalled. Locals have now issued a 3-month ultimatum to the MCA to resume construction or face public demonstrations demanding his resignation. 3 families are already mourning loved ones lost in the river while others continue to recover from injuries caused by the treacherous crossing.
Hii mvua ikinyesha sisi tuko na shida na watoto. Hata watoto waendi shule. Hata mvua ikinyesha kama hujanunua chakula unalala njaa. Sasa tunaomba MCA yetu atutengeneze daraja. Tunamuomba, tumeshamuomba atutengeneze ukienda kwa ofisi yake hakuna mtu.
Hii daraja imeua wengi venye unaweza ona. Ile ndio kenye sasa tunapitia. Na hapa hivi kuna wazee, kuna ukiangalia huko hivyo juu kuna churches. Watu wamekufa hapa hivi wengi sana. Na huyo MCA wetu tulienda maandamano, akatuletea polisi, akatupiga na mategas mpaka huku kwa boma.
Raundi hii sababu umetutishia atafanya maandamano. But we are giving a maximum or not less than or more than 3 months. Na musipotengeneza hii bridge before that time ama during that time tutaenda kwa maandamano, mukipenda mtuue.
And across our borders, the High Court in Tanzania has dismissed a petition filed by opposition leader Tundu Lissu, which sought to challenge the legality of certain government actions, including alleged violations of constitutional rights. In its ruling, the presiding judge stated that the application did not meet the legal threshold required for the case to proceed. However, Lissu's legal team received the decision with calm and calm and resolve rather. Following the ruling, Lissu's lawyer has expressed satisfaction with the court's guidance and affirmed that they plan to refile the case in line with the legal directions provided, emphasizing their continued pursuit of justice.
See how far you've brought.
Join Vanisi Uwase.
I'm so glad you found me worthy. I can
This Sunday for a moment of worship on Ultimate Worship.
Every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare your glory.
From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and repeat from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Na sina cha kukurudi, shia Bwana.
Hope TV, look and live.
Nashangilia Mwokozi wangu Yesu aliyenipenda.
One thing I've learned about leadership, just generally in leadership, the leader is not the smartest person in the room. All right? He's not always the smartest person. When you're a leader, your strength is in the ability to be able to harness the gifts around you. It's the same thing in the family. All right? Like I said, your wife is a very smart person. So you don't shut her down. All right? But you allow her to, you pick those ideas, you discuss them, and one of you make them your own.
Definitely.
It's like even in any organization, as the CEO, for example, you're not necessarily the smartest person in that organization. But you get around yourself people who are smart, people who are good in what they do, and then you take all those ideas and then you lead. And guess who takes credit at the end of the day? You take the credit at the end of the day. Because you're the leader.
You're the leader.
Isn't it? You know. So that's what leadership is all about. So being able to also just harness all those gifts that God has given you through your wife and one of you, but being able to chart the way forward.
Men on Record, every Friday at 7 p.m.
Welcome back in business. The company of the year, or rather Equity Life Assurance Kenya Limited, ELAC, has been named Insurance Company of the Year at the 15th edition of the Think Business Insurance Awards held in Nairobi. Equity Bank Assurance Intermediary Limited was also honored with 3 top awards, including Best Bank Assurance Intermediary, underscoring the group's growing leadership across the insurance industry. ELAC is currently ranked 4th in terms of gross written premiums with a 9% market share and has issued over 15 million policies to date.
Award is an annual award, that celebrates and fits, the insurance industry, with, many of these awards. So as the Equity Insurance Group, we are happy that we have come through. We have carried the Life Insurance, Company of the Year award for this particular award. And you can see that because the true testament is that we have also won the Claims, Settlement of the Year award, as well as the most customer-centric, company of the year. Now, we can only attribute this to the things that we do to our customers, and we could not have done this if it were not for the trust that our customers have on us. It is also a true testament of what the One Equity Group can do. And, we sincerely thank our customers, our partners, and the entire, Equity Group. The general feeling here is that, this is just the beginning of these awards, and we look forward to many more. And we have, the journey we're just taking off, and we are telling our customers to, watch out, our partners, And our promise to them is that, we will keep doing better, and we will, keep keeping our word, and because then trusting this brand is a currency that we can, give out there. Thank you.
Now in sports, more than 1,000 runners took part in the Run for Seniors charity race organized by Mama Ibado Charity to raise funds in support of monthly food baskets and essential healthcare services for over 1,000 elderly individuals in Isiolo and Kakamega counties. The event featured 3 race distances, that is 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers and 15 kilometers, designed to accommodate all fitness levels. It attracted a wide mix of participants, all united by one cause: to restore dignity and care for Kenya's elderly. 748 Air Services Managing Director Moses Mwangi said the initiative has raised 11 million shillings in cash and in kind. According to Mwangi, the initiative will go a long way in elevating awareness of senior citizens, a demographic that he said seems to have been ignored. President William Ruto is poised to become a co-owner of Nairobi United Football Club after pledging a 10 million shillings investment to support the newly promoted FKF Premier League side. The announcement was made during a meeting with the club at State House, where the head of state commended the team for its swift rise to top-tier football and reiterated his commitment to developing sports in the country. The 10 million shillings investment is expected to go towards player development, club infrastructure, and boosting the team's competitiveness ahead of their debut season in the FKF Premier League. Now, Kenya Police Football Club head coach Etienne has been named the Sports Journalists Association of Kenya Coach of the Month for June, following his remarkable achievement of leading the law enforcers, to their first ever FKF Premier League title. The Burundian international, who joined Kenya Police in November last year, has overseen an incredible transformation, steering the club from relegation threats earlier in the season to league champions in less than a year. Etienne becomes the second foreign coach to win the award this year, following South African Carlos Katiwa, who was awarded in April after winning the Kenya Cup and Enterprise Cup with Cabras Sugar Rugby Club. Over 31 Kenyans are dead, including a 12-year-old girl caught in the comfort of her own home, simply watching television. Her only crime? Being Kenyan during a moment when the state turned its guns on its own people. The Sabasaba protests, a day historically marked by calling for justice and reform, have this year turned into a national tragedy. Instead of listening, the state answered the cries of citizens with live bullets. Instead of restraint, there was bloodshed. President William Ruto now says enough is enough, claiming that the demonstrations were part of a coup plot. But on many people's minds is, what about the innocent lives lost? Why the silence? Not even a word of condolence, sympathy, or care. How is it that the loss of lives is only viewed through the lens of political competition and not through the value of human life? To make the matter worse, the head of state has issued a controversial directive instructing police to shoot protesters in the leg if they are found engaging in demonstrations. Is this amount of force really called for? Even allies of the government, namely the Orange Democratic Movement Party, has disagreed with the directive, terming it unconstitutional. How can the president claim to build God a church where us kill his people at the same time? How is it that a God-fearing president has appended a signature in support of the LGBTQ society worldwide, which is expressly condemned in the Bible? That aside, lest we forget, the family of Boniface Karaoke, a mask vendor gunned down at close range, was laid to rest today in an event filled with sorrow. That is a grieving family who will never see their son on this side of eternity. Yet, as one of the leaders, a member of parliament, recently said, we sympathize and move on. The recent killings and government silence speak volumes about the state of governance in Kenya. A government's foremost duty is to protect life, not end it. These deaths raise deep questions. Who will be held accountable? Who will answer and relieve the pain of Kenyans who almost seem numb? Have you noticed that a day after the deadly protests, everything resumes as if nothing happened just hours later? A peculiar people Kenyans are indeed. Kenyans must ask themselves, how far is too far? This is about leadership or the lack of it. When the pursuit of power and control overrides compassion and humanity, the government of the day seems blind and deaf to its own people, whereas even the blind can see that the nation is going in the wrong direction, and the deaf can hear the screams of those mourning because the events in the country need no explanation. It can be felt in the atmosphere that something has got to give. Even as Kenyans raise their voices on social media in unity, it might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Furthermore, I dare say that Kenya needs divine intervention, for it is written that God is a present help in time of need and is known to hear the cry of the oppressed. And that is today's conundrum. Well, today's conundrum brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. On behalf of the whole crew, thank you for watching. Till next time, have a good night and a blessed weekend. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. See you soon.